working to learn more about what led to a Tooele County boy just 12 years old who took his own life.
Saturday on 2 News at 10, we first told you about the heartbreaking death of 12-year-old Drayke Hardman. Ariel Harrison spoke with Drake's parents, who say that they did everything they knew to do, talking with him about suicide days before.
His parents say he was bullied at school repeatedly, and tonight there's a new element to the story. We start with Lincoln Graves outside the Huntsman Mental Health Institute. In Lincoln, you spoke with psychologists about the best advice right now for parents.
And Heidi and Jamie, one of those psychologists, works out of here at the Institute. This really can be a scary time for parents, but there are things they can do in the wake of a story like this. And this applies to all parents, whether they are the parents of someone who's being bullied, a bystander, or even a bully themselves. The tragic suicide of a 12-year-old can rattle any parent, but there are ways to address the mental health of children. Annie Deming of Primary Children's Hospital has key advice.
It's all about keeping those lines of communication open and noticing if your child is doing something different that could potentially be of concern.
It can be a tough task, but other psychologists agree. Honest conversations are critical.
If you're worried about your child, ask them. Ask them a question.
U of U psychology professor Scott Langenecker suggests doing it when neither parent or child is in a rush and when the child is in a good mood. One psychologist also wants parents to watch for signs their child might be a bully or might be condoning it.
They'll say, well, the kids were kind of mean today. Well, what were they doing? Well, they were calling this kid names. Well, what did you do? Who did you go and tell? Did you go and get help?
Douglas Goldsmith warns parents against the typical after-school interaction.
We often just say, how was school? The kid says, fine. What'd you do? Nothing. That's customary. Every parent knows that conversation.
Instead, he wants parents to go deeper, really learn about what daily life is like for their children.
How was school today? It was great. Tell me, who did you hang out with at recess? What was happening at recess? Who did you sit by at lunchtime? What were the kids talking about at lunchtime?
Now, all of the psychologists I spoke with also warn parents to be aware of the warning signs of a child struggling with mental illness. Those include withdrawing from friends, irritability, or losing interest in activities, among other things. You can find more in the resources that we have posted at KUTV.com. Live in Salt Lake City, Lincoln Graves, KUTV 2 News.
A great reminder, Lincoln, thank you. If you or someone you know needs help, there are resources available around the clock. You can call or text the Suicide Prevention Hotline, the number listed on your screen, or use the Safe UT app. Jeremy, thank you. A moment for tonight's Jazz game will be a lifelong memory for two families who very recently lost loved ones to suicide.
It was a special moment in Vivint Arena tonight, and Jim Spiewak was at the game. He is live in Salt Lake outside of Vivint Arena tonight. Jim.
Yeah, it was a really, really special, emotional moment. You know, several of the Jazz players actually reached out to the Hardman family before tonight's game, and after the game, they certainly now consider them part of the Jazz family.
We take this opportunity to recognize Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert on their three-time selections for the NBA All-Star Game.
Very few people in the stadium tonight knew it was coming, but presenting Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell their All-Star commemorative rings were two families who recently lost loved ones to suicide.
They are joined at midcourt by two families from our community who recently suffered tragic losses.
Mitchell and Gobert asked the families of 10-year-old Izzy Tishner and 12-year-old Drayke Hardman, who both died by suicide after their families say they were bullied, to tonight's game. First to present the All-Star honor to Donovan was Izzy's family.
Love you, Don!
And then the Hardman family, who recently lost Drayke, presented the ring to Rudy.
And now Rudy will be joined with the family of Drayke Hardman to present to Rudy their 2022 All-Star commemorative ring.
Rudy was obviously moved by the moment, but not as much as Drake's family, who got support from 20,000 cheering fans. Andrew Hardman, Drake's father, said this about the Jazz over the weekend.
We see them on the court, we see them as superstars, but they hurt just like us.
Even before tonight's game, some of the Jazz players reached out to Drake's family after hearing of the tragedy that another young person died by suicide after being bullied.
They're the ones that are that are seeing the problem before many of us are, that things need to change. And I think that's amazing that they want to help.
There has been a GoFundMe that's been set up. It's already raised more than $95,000. We've linked that over on our website if you'd like to check that out. And also, if you'd like to see more of our interview with the Hardman family from over the weekend, that too is available on our website, KUTV.com. We're live in Salt Lake tonight. Jim Spiewak, KUTV 2 News.
We are continuing our team coverage for you tonight with tips on how parents can sit down and talk to their children about bullying and the difficult topics that surround it.
Ariel Harrison talking again with Drake's parents who say one of their other children was a bully. Ariel Harrison is live with how they handled it. Ariel.
Yeah, so Drake's parents, well, Sammy and Andrew Hardman, tell me that they picked up on their child's bully-like behavior inside their home. They identified it, stopped it, and hope that sharing their story will help other parents do the very same thing.
It's hard as a parent to not be bitter. I'm angry and I'm hurt and I'm broken. Part of me just wants this bully to find peace, to be fixed.
Drake's parents say the bullying that happened to their son was more than they or the school even realized.
I know this bullying went deep and it did some mental damage that we couldn't see because he just was so joyful to everyone. For him to have to attack my son to build his confidence means he was lacking something. In a sense, this bully is also a victim. And that's where we need to find the solution.
The Hardmans say they've been on both sides of this now, with Drake being bullied, and before that, one of their other children who was a bully.
Hurt starts with the hurt. And if you don't know that your child's being a bully, I say watch for signs. With our daughter, I caught those signs quick.
Sammy said their daughter showed a lot of pent-up aggression with her brother and sister. That led to several sit-down conversations with her about the importance of being kind. Both parents say that ultimately corrected the behavior.
What can parents do if their children are being bullied? Nothing. What can parents do if their child has been suspended for doing something or they find out? That's the ones that need to help.
Now they just wish that more had been done to help the student who hurt their son.
As much as this kid would pick on him about him being small, or that he had crooked front teeth, or that his favorite color is purple, Drake always tried to find a way around it to make this kid want to be his friend.
Just such a tough story to hear again and report on, guys. I'm sorry. Now, we reached out to the Utah Charter Schools Board, the governing body over the school that Drake attended. They told us they never had any complaints come into them as far as bullying, even in Drake's instance. Reporting in Salt Lake, Ariel Harrison, KUTV 2 News.